All right, everyone, this is Femi Akojenu here from Live Zone Television. I am at the Redeem Convention, the RCC GNA, as you can see in the backdrop, North, Central, and South, the Americas Convention. And I am with Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo. Wow. Thank you for this time.
Hey, thank you, Pastor Femi. Good to be here.
We've been trying to do this
for a while.
So I don't have much time with you, but I have about 3 or 4 questions.
Yeah.
The first question is, somebody who is trying to get married, what are the things they need to know? Because I see that a lot of people, they just say, I love you, you love me, let's get married.
Yes.
Can you advise someone who's trying to get married?
Oh, yeah. I'll say there are a few things you must find before you find the one. Number one, you need to find God, because God is the one that created marriage. And there's no use trying to look for marriage without knowing the creator of marriage. So you need to find God, have a relationship with God. That also helps you know what true love is, because God is love. Many people don't know what love is. They just think love is lust. They think love is a feeling. But when you have a relationship with God and God is love, then you have the capacity for real love. So number one, find God. Number 2, find yourself. Many people are looking for who to marry, but they don't even know themselves. But see, when you know yourself, then you will know who and who will qualify. Someone like me, I knew that I'm highly intellectually stimulated. So when I was looking for a wife, I knew that you can be Miss World, but you have to just be smart. You have to be brilliant. I can't stand people that are not intelligent. I love intelligent conversations. I love.
What if she loves you, but she's not intelligent?
It doesn't matter. One person's love can't keep a marriage. It must be mutual. So you can love, perhaps you can give all the things for your possessions for love, but it will utterly be despised. So the person must love you. So I see a lot of people trying to build their marriage on one person. Oh, I love you. That doesn't matter. The person has to love you back to make it work.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, the third thing, find purpose. That's also very important, because the first marriage wasn't built around emotions or companionship. It was built around functionality. God had an assignment for Adam, and he said, I will look for a helper for you. So, so find purpose. When you find purpose, you know who qualifies, who doesn't qualify. For instance, I knew I was a preacher. I knew I was going to do global things. So that also streamlined the kind of people I knew I could marry. You know, because I knew where I was going. So I had to marry somebody that could fit into not just my present, but into my future. Wow.
So how important is compatibility in finding the right person?
Compatibility is very important, but people need to know what we mean by compatibility. Okay. Compatibility doesn't mean similarity. It means our ability to get along. So in other words, if for us to be really compatible, we have to be different. But our values have to be the same. But our personalities can be different. In other words, a talker is not compatible with another talker. A talker is compatible with a listener.
Got you.
So we need to know what exactly my compatibility. But compatibility is important. Now, when people are not compatible, it doesn't mean the marriage can't work. It just means you're going to definitely have to put more work. But when you're compatible, you find out that things are a bit easier. Because if I'm a talker, for instance, and you're a listener, then there's no struggle there. That's you know, right. You are not trying to out-talk me because you don't even have power to talk.
Correct.
But I'm not a great listener, but I'm a great talker. But you're already doing a lot of listening, so it balances out, and your listening skills rubs off for me eventually. My talking skills will rub off for you. So compatibility is good. It's good. The Bible says two cannot work together except they be agreed. So it's a good thing.
How important is preparation?
Oh my God, definitely. You don't win because you wish to win. We both came from Nigeria in terms of our descent, and we know that we like to pray in Nigeria. You know, we get to the World Cup, get to the Super Bowl, get something like that. The prayer you're praying on the field is not it's the preparation before that time that will tell me who's going to win. So
you mean 40 days fasting wouldn't make it work?
It's not going to make your marriage work. You have to just prepare. I mean, imagine entering a plane and the pilot says, hey, I've never flown a plane before. In fact, I've never even gone to pilot school, but I've prayed. All my pastors have anointed me and prayed. Let's even pray before we take off, and let's hope we'll land. I'm going to come down from that plane. I don't care how much prayer you want to pray. Definitely. I want to come down. So that's how powerful preparation is. You must prepare. What
are some of the things to prepare?
Everything. For instance, emotional intelligence. You know, some people just, I spoke about that today at the conference. Some people are praying desperately to marry, and when you hear their prayer points, it's all selfish. Lord, I'm lonely. Lord, I'm tired of being alone. Lord, I'm broke. Lord, I need a partner. So it's you. But marriage is not about what you can get. It's about what you can give. So you are becoming emotionally intelligent. You have to prepare that. You have to prepare basic stuff.
Hold on.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence so means that it's not just about my needs.
Yes. You enter a room and you realize that everybody here has a need. Now you have a need also, but you know that your need doesn't override everybody's need. So you communicate in that with the sense that, oh, I'm not the only person here. I must be considerate of other people. If I enter this room and the AC is the air conditioning is very cold, and there are 4 people here, my first action is not to switch off the AC. Because some other person might prefer that AC that cold. So I need to be considerate of that and say, hey guys, does anybody want this AC this cold? Now if you want it, can we negotiate? It's a bit too cold for me. Can I turn it down? You know, if you say, oh no, I won't survive if you turn it down, then can I relocate the place I sit? So I'm aware of my environment as opposed to getting here and saying, oh, this AC is not the way I want it and I'm going to do it the way I want it. This is what makes marriages fail. People are not considerate of their partner. And most times your partner is asking you for a legitimate need.
Yes.
I don't see any 2 people that came together for the purpose of getting divorced. No. Everybody is asking in their marriage, hey, love me this way, treat me this way, but their partner is not listening. So that's just how it is. So yeah.
So you were talking about the preparation, so emotional intelligence.
Emotional skills, listening skills, ability to be committed. So I tell people, don't marry a quitter. Anybody that quit school, quit job, quit church, quit everything, he's a quitter. Don't marry a quitter because marriage is going to get tough at some point. So we look out for the guy that is committed, that can stay through, that has staying power.
How do you know he has staying power?
Oh, if he, what has he done with his life? If he's 30 when you meet him, so what has happened in 30 years? Did he finish school? Did he finish with the things he said he was going to do? All the dreams, all the things he has started in his life, how many of them has he finished? Is he committed today in church? Because, for instance, serving in church, something as small as that, it trains you to show up, whether you're in the mood or not. That's commitment. That's how you know. But the person that has always done things to please themselves, once they get into that marriage and things are no longer going their way, they're going to quit. That's what they do. They quit. So things like that, you prepare like that. You prepare communication, prepare financial skills. Some people don't know they have horrible financial habits. I was one of those people. They don't know they had horrible financial habits because when you're alone, you are the president, you are the parliament, you are the senate, you have it. So when you pass any bill, everybody approves it because you are everybody.
That's right.
But once you get married, you see, you want to buy a dog when our rent is due. You're going to pass it to the Senate and they're going to say, this ain't going through. So that's when you start seeing your weaknesses in terms of your financial ability to plan, your ability to plan financially. So I discovered that when I got married, on our dating period, when we were just trying to look for a hall for the wedding, I bought 2 dogs. We couldn't even pay for the hall yet. But the guy that was leasing out the hall for the reception is into dogs. So he took me to where they were selling dogs. And while we're still talking about the hall, I had booked for 2 dogs.
Wow.
So we moved into my new house with 2 pit bulls.
Wow.
That I couldn't feed or take care of. I didn't know how horrible my financial habits were. And my wife is a saver. I mean, I tell Nigerian government, stop borrowing from China, borrow from my wife. My wife is a saver. No matter how much this world there's scarcity, my wife has money. She just saves. She's a natural saver. She doesn't spend. She'll price everything and just not buy.
Yes.
You know, so when I began to find out that I had horrible financial habits, she had incredible financial habits, I began to learn that it's important to let the best person manage any aspect of the home. So that's why we are together. We complement each other. That's what compatibility is about. So the areas I'm weak, your partner is strong. But you see, if I don't understand that the whole purpose of my partner being strong where I'm weak is for the partnership, it will not become an issue of frustration. So she will not be frustrated instead of trying to help me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Can you say something about competition? Because sometimes people are married and they're competing with one another. I'm telling
you, I mean, I was shocked to find out that is a fact. You know, because for the life of me, I just thought everybody knows that we are here together to do it as a team. But I found out that really, like you said, a lot of couples are in competition. And I think that's just the height of immaturity and insecurity. The whole concept of marriage is 2 becoming 1. We are a team. So the word "my" should not exist in a home. It should be our. We're a team. So if we're in a football, imagine we're a football team, and I say, well, I don't like how my goalkeeper is behaving, and he has left the goalpost, and I have a chance of stopping the goal, and I say, no, I'm angry with him. If they score us, we as a team have lost. Right. It's not just the person that caused the fault. All of us have lost. So when you understand it's a team sport, what affects one will affect all. Then you understand I'm here to cover my partner's weaknesses. I am standing for them. We are a team. So there's no need to compete. And if we have that spirit of that team spirit, if one person is making it in career, it's both of us that are making it.
That's right.
It's not me trying to outdo the other person. And the person also making it to learn to be gracious to the other person. Because sometimes too, what causes competition is that maybe the woman, for instance, you know, is now richer or earning more money than the husband, and she can become disrespectful. You know, and the guy be like, oh, okay, so because you're earning more now. You know, so there has to be that team spirit. We must not see ourselves as individuals. Just like the Bible says, the 2 shall become 1.
You mentioned the word insecurity. How can the 2 help each other to be more secure?
All right.
Or is this something you have to have before you even...
It's better to have it before you marry, but you see, sometimes some things might not be apparent when you are dating. Sometimes you might not notice it. Sometimes you don't even know how serious it is. So when you discover, for some, before you marry, if you see it's a serious problem, that's a good point to stop the relationship and reappraise the issue. But if you have already gotten married and there's a chronic insecurity, you need to realize that number one, is not your fault, because insecurity is not based on other people. It's an internal struggle. That is why great people could still have insecurity. Saul was the king, David was just a boy in the bush, but Saul had insecurity with David. So it's not necessarily about the person being better than me. If I have the insecurity, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm just going to be insecure. I'm going to feel this guy is going to come and take my job. This guy is going to threaten my position. So sometimes it's not about you. Then secondly, praying for the person will also help. Then thirdly, doing your best to not outshine or outdo the person. So help them in that area. If you already understand that this guy has an issue with money, or the fact that I earn money than him, then don't come and flaunt your money. Don't come and say, oh, I'll pay for it. No, always find a way to still consult and say, what do you think? Also find a way to feed that area of that person to make sure their esteem is also comes up. And with time, love is what cures everything. And that's God's cure all, is to show love to the person. And that will help the person to overcome that.
Now, let's look at a case scenario. So a pastor goes to a woman. God has spoken to me. Yes. You are my wife.
Yes.
What should she do next?
That's the oldest scam in the body of Christ. That's the oldest scam in the body of Christ. There's no such thing as. In fact, I have a book titled "God Told Me to Marry You," so I have a whole book on it. There's no scriptural reference where God told somebody his wife. It's not in the Bible. All right. What God did, for instance, first marriage, he presented Eve the way he presented other animals before Eve, and Adam made the choice. So marriage is such a long-term thing and such a personal thing. You have to commit. You have to make that decision. So if somebody says God told me, tell them to allow God to tell you also. You go and pray. All right, don't act on somebody's own conviction. In fact, I have a book titled "Who Should I Marry?" and I mentioned 10 C's. One of the C's in that book is conviction. Another person's conviction can move you into marriage. So if you say, "Oh, I saw a dream," great, thank you for your dream. I have to pray, let God speak to me. God is not a gossip. He's going to tell me to. All right, if God doesn't tell me, and even it's part of God telling me, do I even like you? If I don't like you, I'm not even going to pray about it. All right, because marriage is not just spiritual. It's a physical thing you do on the earth here. So you have to like this person too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you. You have a conference coming up. Can you just quickly talk about that here in the U.S.?
Yes. Yeah, we have our U.S. tour. We're going to be in 9 cities in the United States in 3 weeks. Throughout the month of August, we're visiting 9 cities: New York and New Jersey, one venue, Maryland, there's Chicago, there's Atlanta, there's Dallas, there's Houston, there's L.A., and there's Ohio, and there's Boston, Lowell. So 9 cities, and it's going to be amazing. I'll be there with my books. We'll do book signings. We'll take pictures, and it'll be a time of revelation and impact.
How can people register and contact you?
Oh, we have a website, www.ldmwithpktour.com. All right.